around the building that he's like, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. I guess it could happen at that point. But for that part of it aside, I still think it would cost you more than Burks and Spears in order to do it. So, like, how high would you be willing to go? And then what is the number, right? Because there is a difference. Like, T. Higgins, if he's signing for similar money to Ridley, I'm probably cool with it. If T. Higgins wants significantly more than Ridley got, that's where we start to run into problems, I think. Because I do think there's some validity to, look, by the time let's say Levis works out, by the time you end up paying him big money, I mean, you'll be 2 years deep into the Ridley deal. The cap is going to continue to go up. Yeah, you'll be paying both receivers a lot of money, but it's not going to be like totally detrimental to your team to do other things around him at that point.
Sure. Yeah, the NFL cap is malleable and is going up. So I get that. Another thing about that whole thing, though, when you talk about if it goes bad, obviously he's mad at management. Seems like he gets along great with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, right? That usually fights with management, unless management overreacts like they did here with A.J. Brown, it doesn't really trickle into the team. They're all on each other's side,
Yeah.
They all want each other to get paid. So I don't think there's anything to it. But I appreciate Jared being creative to come up with a segment, and now it's given us stuff to talk about.
I'm just saying,
other than toxic positivity, which is apparently a big problem.
You would still have to map out to me the exact route for him to get here and what the cost ends up being. I'm just saying the idea of doing something like that, I don't hate it if I'm the Titans. And then you if you felt like you needed to continue to address wide receiver after that, but maybe that does, like in that scenario, you get Higgins and Ridley, and then you feel like you're good at wide receiver and you address other needs in the draft. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't hate the idea of that on the surface.
I mean, look, the proven commodity thing, the Eagles are actually a good example of the proven commodity versus continue drafting high. Yep. And they finally were like, okay, screw it. Here's a guy we know is good. Let's go get that guy.
Right.
So I get that.
They also did draft a young receiver who's turned out to be pretty good in Devontae Smith.
That's true, too.
So
after failing a few times. By the way, on the toxic positivity front, is Jared's positivity about our shows a little toxic at this point? He keeps talking about it. When does that become toxic positivity? Now we got him on the hey, cool. Jared, don't answer text on the text line when our show's going on. You are not welcome here. You answer people during your show. Yes, apparently let him talk about his show. Get out of here, man.
615-737-1025, our phone number. It is the beginning of the NCAA regionals today for both Vanderbilt and Tennessee. We'll get into that coming up next. The Rob Rant coming up at 7:45.
Hell yes.
2 in a row. Teron Davenport at 8 o'clock. All that ahead. Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, David James here with you on this Friday morning. We are live from our Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. NCAA regional play underway today. Vanderbilt gets things rolling later this morning. I believe they begin at 11 o'clock, coverage beginning at 10:45 here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Going up in the Clemson Regional, and then Tennessee obviously hosting the Knoxville Regional. By the way, Vanderbilt Baseball on 102.5 The Game brought to you by Smoky Mountain Tops, your countertop experts. Visit SmokyMountainTops.com. Let's start on the Vanderbilt front. What do you make of the opportunity now in front of Tim Corbin and this team? It did feel like they found a little something in the SEC tournament. They started to hit the ball and obviously went on a nice little run there to secure their spot in the NCAA tournament, and now they're the 2 seed in the Clemson Regional. I said it earlier this week. I doubt very seriously Clemson is looking around and saying, yay, Vanderbilt as the 2 seed in the regional. And it's been a disappointing year for them in the regular season. But really, if you're Vanderbilt baseball, the only thing that really matters is this time of year. And if you're able to put something together this time of year, people tend to forget about the regular season. So what do you make of the opportunity in front of Vanderbilt, and what do you make of how equipped Vanderbilt is to make some noise here, given the format and given the way that they're playing right now?
Yeah, look, I think that they got a good chance to sort of make up for last year. You know, last year they failed at this point. It was a big disappointment, big upset basically. And I think that they're set up pretty good with their pitching for this format, especially the way J.D. Thompson has been pitching. You know, I think that he gives them a third guy, and so for this format, like they're gonna be able to put someone out there who has a good chance of giving you 6-7 innings, keeping the score down, keeping the bullpen fresh, more than most teams in this tournament. So, do the bats awaken? Certainly you saw some signs of that in Hoover. I think that's, obviously a huge game today. You know, you get the 2-3 go to Coast Carolina. I mean, it's huge to start out and be in the winner's bracket. But, yeah, especially if they can get that first one, get into the winner's bracket, then, yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to be right there. I think they should be battling Clemson to get to a super. And my question, really, the bats kind of going. Now, they have a lot of guys, but the bullpen, like, they don't have a lot of great late-inning answers, like clear answers. And I think that's either going to materialize or it's going to continue to be an issue for them. They could have swept the Vols here, but for the lack of those clear shutdown late-inning high-leverage arms.
Can the bats keep going? I mean, that's going to be a big story here because for most of the season, they weren't, right? I mean, the bats